You're listening to G Woman Radio, the 24/7 radio for the gifted, genius, and game changing woman.
Welcome to the G Spot, powered by G Woman Radio. The G Spot is a bold space for genius conversations with global game changers. Each episode of this live radio show brings together thought leaders, innovators, business owners, creators, and change makers for fearless conversations about leadership, legacy, innovation, and global impact. Now welcome your hosts, Alex Okoroji, Frankie Picasso, Swapna Abraham, Clara Rufai, and Mayuri Naidu.
Hey, and welcome to the G Spot. Yes, my name is Alex Okoroji, and yes, you're listening to Awesome G Women Radio, and I'm so excited because I'm here once again on our season finale of the G Spot with my co-hosts who are also here and joining me from different parts of the world. So let's check in on the ladies. Frankie, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing great, Alex. Thank you. I'm coming to you guys from Toronto, Canada. Today, I just had my first weight coach lifting session. So ask me how I am tomorrow.
Well, no pain, no gain. Swapna, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alex. Hello, ladies. This is Swapna from Cochin, Kerala, India, where the monsoons are faithful as ever. No change outs.
Oh, wow. Well, okay. I mean, we've been talking about this all season, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, Clara, how you doing?
Hey everyone, I'm here and I'm joining from the G Woman studios in London. And let me tell you, I'm feeling good. Yeah, because the vibe is good. We had a successful launch of the G Woman Collective yesterday, and the energy, the sisterhood, the purpose, just watching all of it come to life. It was amazing. So I'm bringing that same energy into today's show. So let's get the party started.
Yay. Yes. I mean, it was a lot. It was a big high from yesterday. And, just so grateful for all of the amazing G women who were able to join us for our G Women Collective lunch party. And that was pretty excited. Hey, May.
Hey,
Hi.
I have such FOMO. I couldn't make it, but I'm still so grateful to have the support structure and the tribe that we are finding and aligning ourselves with. I am broadcasting here from Johannesburg, South Africa, where it is also weirdly raining. It shouldn't be. And I've had a very, very fulfilling and exhausting work week, so I am looking forward to the weekend.
Yay.
Well, I'm so glad that you could join us in this, the season finale show. And we've been, just excited for you and, everything that's going on with Lucky Fish, her new movie that's out in cinemas. And, it's just, I guess it's a really good period, a really good time for all of us. And now we do have our special guest who's joining us on the show. She's here in the studio. But just before we get to her, don't forget, once again, welcome to the G Spot. This is where genius meets the global game changer. My name is Alex Okoroji, like I mentioned. And of course, I'm joined by my powerhouse co-hosts, who are also the co-founders of G Women Media.
Thank you,
Frankie?
Alex. I hope you ladies are tuning in every week because we do bring you bold conversations with women who are shifting culture, challenging systems, and creating new legacies. Swapna.
Thank you, Frankie. Well, ladies, today's episode is all about genius is a team sport. And we are thrilled to bits to welcome a game changer who is blazing trails in her field. Over to you, Clara.
Yes. And before we welcome our amazing game changer, you know what time it is, right? I'm going to point my spotlight on two amazing women. But let me just tell you, the reason we do this is because we want the achievements of these women to remind you that women belong in every room where decisions are made, and that strength comes in many forms: intellectual, creative, and physical. So, as I share these amazing women stories with you, I invite you to celebrate them, support them, and be inspired by what they're doing. Now, the first woman up in my spotlight today, she's not just making hits, she's making history. From music to ownership, she's changing the game for artists everywhere. Let's spotlight none other than Taylor Swift. She's known as the music industry powerhouse, right? She's a singer songwriter and a businesswoman. Now, Taylor Swift continues to redefine music ownership and artist empowerment. She's breaking records with her Eras tour whilst standing up for artist rights in the industry. So, what makes her a G woman? I'll let you know. It's her ability to merge storytelling, business acumen, and advocacy for artists. This just makes her a force in entertainment. And what's something she would say? Well, Swift would say, be the person who can do both. Write your own story and own it. I so feel her on that one. And the next person up in my G spotlight is she just didn't swipe right on innovation, this woman, but she built a whole new way for women to lead the conversation both online and offline. She's turning tech into a tool for empowerment. Let's talk about Whitney Wolf Herd. She's the digital dating disruptor, you all. She's the founder and CEO of Bumble. Now, Whitney has redefined online dating with Bumble, the first major dating app that gives women control, yes, over the conversations. Her company has since expanded into networking and business connections. What makes her a G woman? Well, we think it's her vision for women centric digital spaces. That's transforming tech and that's also transforming social interactions. And what's something that she would say? Well, she would say women should make the first move in business, in relationships, and in life. So
Yeah.
listen, if you're listening now, I would tell you the reason that this list matters is because the power list, right, is more than just a recognition. It's a statement that true feminine power exists, and this is what it looks like. There are 50 women named on that list. They're not waiting for permission to lead, innovate, or create change. They are taking charge and they are making things happen. With that said, I'm going to pass the microphone all the way over to South Africa, rainy South Africa, where Mayuri will tell you a little bit more. Mayuri?
Thank you, Clara. You are always such an inspiration with your G Woman. I love it. I love listening to it. If you haven't read our latest Top 50 G Woman Power List in the Global Issue 2025 edition of G Woman magazine, after the show, head on to www.gwomanmag.com to read about the amazing, gifted, genius, and game changing women featured.
Thank you, Mayuri. Thank you, our Clara, for your G list. Every week, I'm always excited to learn about a new G woman or two new G women, right? And if you, like Mayuri said, don't forget to check them out on our G Woman magazine website. Now, we'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll bring our Genius Game Changer right on.
Ladies, listen up. There's a brand new power packed issue shaking up the media world, and it's coming straight from G Woman magazine. It's the Global Issue 2025 edition, and it's not just pages, it's purpose. We're talking game changers from the top 50 gifted, genius, and game changing women to watch, to rising voices, deep conversations, and powerhouse features like our cover story, Dr. Harbeen Arora Rai, founder of the G100, Women Economic Forum, and All Ladies League. You'll find bold interviews, visionary features, and stories that prove one thing. When women lead, the world changes. So, whether you're a leader, a creator, a founder, or just getting started, this issue is for you. Tap in now at gwomanmag.com. That's gwomanmag.com, G Woman Magazine, where visibility meets power and every voice matters.
Okay, we're back. And if you're just joining in or tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from around the world, this is still the G Spot. And yes, you're listening to us live on G Woman Radio. So it's time to meet the game changer. Let's get into it. Our guest today is Meghann Conter. Meghann Conter is the CEO and founder and chief laugh instigator of The Dames, the world's only business accelerator for women running and leading 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. Now, The Dames is a space where self-worth and net worth align joyfully. Now, she teaches that scaling shouldn't mean sacrificing yourself because high growth and high fun can coexist. Now, Megan brings a rare blend of sharp business strategy and side splitting humor. Yes, she regularly uses sketch comedy to teach business and collaboration. Now, a global ultra connector, Megan believes that fearless collaboration, celebration, and deep authenticity are the real drivers of success. Now, from walking over from hustle culture to building a joyful, wildly impactful business community, Megan's story will inspire you to rethink everything you thought you knew about leadership, business, and personal growth. Now, the Dames is the world's only business accelerator for 6, 7, and 8 figure women that help members grow and scale personally and professionally without forsaking themselves. Now, she is a proud recipient of so many, many awards, and we're just excited to have her here on the show with us. Welcome to the G Spot, Megan. We're glad to have you here.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi, Megan. How's it going?
It's going awesome. Just having a
Good.
great day. How about you?
The same, the same. So I wanted to ask you, a lot of our gifts show up in childhood, and then we kind of lose track of them. And sometimes we pick them up later in life. Megan, did you have any idea what your journey might be, or what was the spark that started your journey?
That's a fun question, which I love fun. So I would say that I was a professor in the Wackadoo Zoo, which was a little performance when I was a kindergartner in school, and I sang and I acted, and I remember those pictures, and I still look at them often. I would even watch the video until my dad accidentally taped over it, VHS tapes.
Yeah, it is.
So, so I kind of did that a lot during my elementary school and middle school years, and then got into high school and felt like, oh, well, I wanted to be one of the popular kids, and popular kids weren't necessarily the performers. And I
Hmm.
had my mind set on marketing for college and beyond. So it wasn't until 2018 that I actually picked up my performing again when I went to the improv school here in Denver, which is no longer around, unfortunately, but did that for a year and really reignited and rebirthed my inner performer. And she came out in many different characters who now take form in my different sketch comedy acts, where I teach business and personal growth and professional growth topics.
That's so
So that
amazing.
inner
Wow.
poor performer got reborn.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Swapna.
Thank you, Frankie. Well, Megan, you sound like you just came out into this world as a fun loving person, and all the humor that you've brought in just in your personal life and professional life, and you've spread that to people that you coach, right? But I'm just wondering, did Megan Conter ever have a, a personalized barrier? And if you did, I'm sure you did, it could never have always been fun, fun, fun from the very outset. If you did, how did you overcome that, Megan, please?
Yes, thank you. I wish I could say it's all been fun and,
Mm,
like I like to say, unicorn farts and rainbows. But unfortunately, it has not been that all the way along. And I think that I lost myself quite a bit in college and beyond, unfortunately, to getting caught up in the world of, college drinking, and
right,
lost a lot of my innocence during that period of time, where I
right.
found that it was a lot of darkness. But thankfully, I found myself, shortly after back in this space of business ownership, because it
Brilliant.
was
Mm,
finally a place where I felt like I fit in. When I had been in corporate outside of college, right out of college, I felt like, man, if this is what my life is going to be like 40 plus hours a week from now on, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And
mm.
there wasn't a lot of fun and there was a lot of strife. And so, in those first few years of business ownership, even though they were the ramen years, as I call them, because I was trying to find my
Yes,
way as a business
Yeah.
owner,
right. We
they
get that.
still Yes, it still really felt like, oh, I am from Colorado. So I had found the right
Mm.
pair of skis, the right pair of boots, and I'd gone down the right slope finally where I
Wow.
fit in, and this is where I'm supposed to lock in. So the business ownership was, it's been a journey of everything for me. It coincided with my spiritual journey and it coincided with my personal growth journey so beautifully. And I still to this day believe that we can only grow as much professionally as we are willing to grow personally. Once I embraced that, that's when the light and the love and the laughter and the fun could come out again. And it was no longer a choice for me, but a must, that I had to have laughter and fun embodied and imbued in my business and my life as a whole.
That's fantastic, Megan. I love the point that you mentioned humor, fun, and spirituality in the same sentence. One would think spirituality is like all serious stuff, but you just bring a new angle to how, you bring it all together in the same sentence. And three cheers to you for what you did with it. Over to you now,
Thank you.
Clara.
Love it, love it. Humor, fun, and spiritual in the same sentence.
Mm.
Wow, there you go. Megan, I would like to ask, I mean, listening to you speak, I mean, obviously you've built an incredible space, right, where high achieving women can grow their businesses without burning out or losing themselves. And I kind of feel like even that in itself, it flips a lot of old school business beliefs on their heads. And so I'd like to ask you, what's one myth, perhaps about scaling, about success, or about leadership, that you're very, very passionate about busting wide open? I'm going to give you the chance to do that right here and right now today.
Yes. So being on the G spot, I feel very lucky because we're
Mm.
all women and we'll all understand what I'm about to say.
Wow.
When we as women are growing our businesses, especially from the early growth stages of 100,000 in revenue and moving into the mid six figures and into the seven figures and beyond, we often have our role models that are men. If you think about a majority of the business books, they've been written by men. The a lot of the curriculums out there are created by men, and men, as we know, live on an energy schedule of 20 every 24 hours they cycle. We cycle every 28 days with the moon. We cycle with ourselves. And so much that is created for women is very masculine. It's an imbalance. It's very masculine energy versus this balance of the sacred, feminine, and masculine. So the problem is, as we are growing our businesses as women, we are looking toward a lot of the masculine role models, some of them toxic, and many of them on this 24-hour cycle, which, if we live in those cycles, it causes a lot of overwhelm, a lot of burnout, and a lot of that feeling of I'm behind. Or I need to compare myself to everyone else around me. And I'm so far behind. Why should I even try? So, what I really encourage women to do when they're getting into business or when they're scaling their businesses is to develop a relationship with their inner guidance, their intuition, their prayer, their whatever it is that connects them to their higher power so that they can truly their own messages of what's true for them at every single moment in time, clear out all of the rest of the noise, especially the advice or the demands or shoulds, as we should all over ourselves. Get those out of the way so that we can tap in to what's true for us and grow according to the one step, the one foot in front of the other that women are designed to do using our intuition.
Well said, perfectly said. Listening to you, I mean, I could listen to you go on and on about that one, but you had me
Mm,
when you said you talked about the energy cycles, and you said
mhm.
women cycle or recycle, if you like, 24 every 24 hours, and for women, it's 28
20.
days. It sounds so punishing, but yes.
Yes.
I'll pass the microphone over to Mayuri.
Thank you, Clara. Megan, welcome to our show. Thank you so much. You're already dropping bombs, and I love it.
Mm,
Um,
thank you.
so I, I wanted to ask you, I never thought performance and business as a performer myself. I didn't think the two could meet in such a wonderful way. And the holistic approach that you take it's fantastic, combining spiritual and personal and professional and making it fun. So I wanted to please ask you, what advice would you give to the next generation of women leaders?
Yes. I think that what really gave me the strength to put those three things together, as you mentioned, was getting in tune with my values and my vision and my mission. So, leading my business up until about 2014, I found myself staring into the fog a lot. And when people would ask me the question, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? I would sarcastically answer the question, oh, celebrating the anniversary of you asking me that question. Because I felt like I didn't have that vision. I didn't have that clear spark. And it wasn't until I really truly came up with the idea of the dames through meditation, through clearing out all that other that I realized, okay, I don't have to have a business that's just designed for the market, because when I do, that's when I find myself burning out. I need to design a business that truly embodies my values. And my top two values have always been fun and love. When I tried to put fun, especially into my marketing business, it always felt awkward, kind of like a teenage phase of trying to fit into certain clothes, trying to look a certain way. It didn't feel natural. So when I set out to create the Dames, it was non-negotiable. It was going to be this reverse mullet approach where we had humor in the front and connection and business in the back, because we needed to be able to break open as women who are often in these stressful positions so that we could come together as our authentic selves and truly connect as we are. So that was really, that in this vision of, okay, I think now that I've got this improv background, that I'm ready to truly bring this performer out. And I've always loved things like Saturday Night Live and other sketch comedy because it causes us to stop. It causes us to pay attention. And so that is why I started bringing sketch characters who really just embody different archetypes of women business owners to the stage to teach these different business concepts so that women would pay attention and they would get joy from it, which unlocks so much in our minds and opens us up to information that we otherwise kind of hear the old Charlie Brown professor, wah, 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 wah. And instead, it creates this space in us where we are receptive as women to this new creative way of teaching.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Megan. It's like you had to clear out the uck, as you said, so that
Yes.
you could receive the messages that you needed to. And through meditation and embracing the spiritual practices that worked for you, that was how you were able to do that. I think that's wonderful. And how you
Mm.
emphasize joy. Joy is so important. We don't realize it. It
Yes.
changes everything. And it's just about shifting your perspective a little bit until you can reach that state of joy. Thank you for that. So would you say that your advice for women leaders of the future is to get in tune with their values, their mission, and their purpose before they decide anything else?
Yes. And what I'll say is that it might not come to you right away. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't continue to look within to find it. So, those first years when I couldn't figure out what that true vision was until I created the Dames, and then even beyond that, when I had gone on for a few years, it wasn't until 2017 that I truly had this vision of the international community that we would be, impacting the lives of millions of women around the globe. It was a different it was a different caliber at that time. So don't become discouraged if you declare those values and you don't see them come to life in your business or the world quite yet, or if you don't feel the 100% joy all the time, or you don't feel like the monetary compensation is coming in the amount that it should, don't get discouraged, but always tap into that intuition. It's going to give you sometimes very interesting cues and interesting direction that sometimes may not make a lot of sense. But if you can truly allow yourself to step into those intuitive nods while remaining strategic and learning as much as you can about business, the two will come together and can come together to create life of creativity and strategy and self-worth and net worth.
Thank you so much for that. You're blowing my mind with the idea that you can be creative and strategic. Often I think we feel like we can only fall into one or the other, but this is really like we can work, there can be synergy between the two. And I just love that. So thank you for that advice. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Mayuri. And thank you, Meghann, for, just sharing your story and your journey. And, I was listening because as an artist myself or as a performer, with a bit of background there and wanting to create a business, it's very difficult many times for performers, to step out of the bubble of what creativity is, right? And there's something that Miyuri said about creativity being having to separate creativity and strategy. And I realized this maybe a couple of years ago, that creativity is actually strategy. And I think it's brilliant what you're doing, which is incorporating your values, right, into the business. I think that sometimes this is what is missing. And you speak about intuition, the power of intuition, and I believe in intuition myself, like having that internal moral compass, something that guides you. You can't really explain it, but you just know. And you've learned to trust that internal compass so much that you've regulated yourself. You can take out the outside noise and you can listen to that voice inside, especially when you're building and creating something. And what also stood out for me was what you mentioned about how a lot of the advice that's out there has been created through the male lens. And this is something we talked about even in our launch. It's like how you're told niche, focus on this. There are all these conversations. Women are so dynamic. We're multi-talented. We juggle many things. That's just our nature, right? It's not the nature of the average man. So typically when they say, oh, focus on one thing, you have to be that one thing, you have to niche, it has to be this thing. And there's this narrow space that has been created of women who are so much broader and so much more dynamic have a problem fitting into that narrow space. So just listening to, you share that, I think that's beautiful that you've been able to create the dames based on these values and recognizing how important this is. So what we'd like to ask on the show, we are always curious about hearing about your G-spot moment, right? And that G-spot moment for us is that game-changing moment. That point, that light bulb moment when you realize that you were built for this. Because I know you've experienced, you had this transition period between your corporate job, starting a business, trying to figure it out and all of that. But there might have been one particular scenario that you remember very vividly that just took the dames from what it originally was conceptualized as to becoming what it is right now. So can you share that with us?
100%. So at the beginning of the life of the Dames, we were the Denver Dames, and we simply had events here in Denver connecting high-powered women with one another through humor, through deep connection, and through business. And we got proof of concept. We continued to grow our local presence, and I also continued to run my marketing business. And I remember having a bit of a breakdown moment with a few friends of mine where I said, I feel like I am so stretched because I have so much passion for doing this work that I'm doing as a one-on-one coach and helping these women business owners grow and scale their companies who are such pioneers and who are breaking through you know male dominated industries who are shifting paradigms, etc. But my mission and my vision are so big that I feel like it is going to take me a lifetime to even just make a dent in the mission that I have. I wish that I could figure out how to make money in business by connecting people, because that is one of my innate talents, one of my unique gifts. I wish that I could figure out how to make money through performance, because that is one of the things that I just truly do best. I wish that I could figure out how to create a business from this gift that I have of facilitating transformation in others, especially in playing Tetris with business. Well, that is what I created. So the Dames really took on a whole new form when I rebranded it as the Dames. And I had this vision of this international community that created a space for women to collaborate with the people who are best suited for them to collaborate with, where women could bring out the true unique value that they provide through their values, and therefore create these dynamic company cultures where women could make money from the things that were their unique gifts, where they could monetize it, scale it, and truly make their epic missions come to life. And that was really what created this space for me to create the Dames in what it is today.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure this is very helpful to a lot of women who are looking to, just step out and create something, right? I'm a true believer in just creating the solution. Be the solution, right? If you see it's missing, create it. And
Yes.
so you created something that you hoped you were looking for, and you wanted more of that, and you've built something that women truly now can be part of and feel like their lives, their careers, their businesses, and their lives are professionally elevated. So that's awesome.
I think there's something there, because often think that it's too hard to build something that's new. But if you know that you're here to build something that's pioneering and completely different, that is your sign to really build it and to break out of the mold, because there is something there. There is a gold vein there that is meant for you to follow.
Amazing.
So
Thank you for sharing that, Megan. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back for our roundtable conversation. Don't go away.
Are you a gifted, genius, and game changing woman looking for your tribe? This is your moment. Introducing the G Woman Collective, a powerful new global hub where women who lead, build, create, and innovate come together to rise. Founded on the premise that women's collective voices hold boundless power. At the heart of our mission lies a powerful purpose: to ignite global visibility and momentum for women everywhere. Whether in boardrooms or broadcasting, the mission is simple: make women seen, heard, and unstoppable. Join thousands of women across continents in a vibrant digital epicenter that's redefining community, collaboration, and visibility. From private forums and global networking to live sessions, masterminds, mentorships, and exclusive media features, including access to our sub-collectives. This is not your average membership. This is your seat at the table. Become a G-Woman ally, G-Woman champion, or G-Woman vanguard, and step into a space designed to amplify your voice, fuel your mission, and elevate your legacy. Sign up now at gwomancollective.com and let's rise together. G-Woman Collective, where gifted, genius, and game-changing women belong.
Okay, welcome back. This is still the G Spot. And yes, we do have the amazing Meghann Conter here, our genius game changer, who's joining us live on the show. And, it's time for our G Roundtable conversation. Take it away, Frankie.
Thank you, Alex. Our theme today is genius as a team sport. Before we get to that, Meghann, I just wanted to say how important I think it is that you spoke about being in alignment with your values. As a coach myself, the first thing I ask clients to do is to find their top 20 and then pare that down to their top 5. So it's really great and important advice. You're always going to be happy when
thank
you're in
you.
alignment.
Yes,
So
indeed.
Yeah, I read that you said the global ultra connector for women who thrive, that the DAMES is the global ultra connector for women who thrive in space where self worth and net worth align. And I think that's really important. But I wanted to ask, how much work, if any, do you need to do with women in your group to recognize their self worth? Because self worth and self image and self esteem are different.
Yes, absolutely they are, but they're all interconnected
They
too.
are.
So I really feel like self-love is the doorway to everything. And yes, we still are having this conversation on a regular basis because
Okay.
women frequently feel imposter syndrome in different ways. And yeah, we, again, we were taught to compete with one another. We were taught to compete with others. We were taught to compare ourselves. And there is a lot of unwinding and unraveling that we women get to do in order to really find what self-love looks like and how that needs to grow on a continuous basis. And when we do commit ourselves to self-love, and that then leads to self-worth, then net worth can come with it easily. It's much more difficult when I find women who've done the reverse. They've gone and they've gotten net worth first, but without the self worth. That often leads to burnout and overwhelm very quickly. So it's really a cart before the horse journey for sure. And I encourage all women to continue that self love journey throughout the course of their lives,
Yeah, I was going
or
to ask.
begin it if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, different ages, different stages of life. Have you found that it's easier with one group than another, or can old horses learn new tricks, or as they say, or dogs, to find that self love and self worth?
I have seen women of all ages fall deeply in love with themselves. I think that it's possible at any age. I think that it's a matter of finding the right people to surround yourself with who also believe in that and who have also found self-love to be important. And I am finding that women who are younger are awakening to this concept at a much younger age, thank goodness. So it's, of course, going to be really important for our young women who are in their teens and 20s to find themselves and to find their self-love. Um, we want that to happen, right? But it doesn't mean that those of us who are, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't believe that. So it's important for us at all ages, and it's possible at all
But
ages.
do you have a program or some kind of training that helps people find their self love? Because I mean, it's easy to say, oh, you have to love yourself, but if you haven't loved yourself for a long, long time, it's kind of hard to do that, and maybe you don't even know
Yeah.
what it looks like.
I actually recommend others who have inspired me to go on that journey. Rika Zimmerman is one of my favorite leaders who actually awakened self love in me. And
Okay.
so we do have women within the Dames as well who are specialists in this area, but we are not, as the Dames, we're not a spiritual organization. So,
Right.
we have women of all faiths and all beliefs and all assortments. So when they come to me interested in that, I'll typically point them to others, but it is something that I definitely embody and imbue into the culture of the organization and talk about probably ad nauseum.
Because I know that you don't. I believe that you don't allow your members to sell to one another. It's about
Correct.
collaborating and helping them build their business together, success. From other women helping support
Each other.
each
Correct.
other. Yeah. How difficult is that when you have they're top performers?
That is an area where it can be a little bit more challenging to teach the women who've been in business a little bit longer or who've been around a little bit longer than the younger ones. Younger women coming into business, I find tend to not, especially if they didn't experience the toxic corporate culture that many of us have, it's a lot easier for them to imagine and to then act upon collaboration. It does take quite a bit more unraveling and untangling of the old beliefs of scarcity and competition from some of the women who've been around the block a little bit longer, because they need to see that it is possible, that it is safe. And that's why the Dames is a women's only container,
Sure.
so that we can truly untangle out of that, those old outdated beliefs that no longer serve us, and make space for what collaboration has potential and possibility to do in each other's lives. And once they get a taste of that and they truly can see it in action, that's when women break open and so many beautiful collaborations come to birth and come to light. And when women are able to scale and grow in such a beautiful, fun, positive, empowered way.
Wow, I love that. We had a little taste of that yesterday on our lunch, I think. Ladies, did anybody want to jump in and ask anything here or make a comment from your own life? I guess I'm mute.
I think I'll jump in. I'll jump in
Sure,
quickly
sure.
there. And I think that what I'm getting from this whole conversation, and took me a while to jump in because I'm, just sort of marinating what she's saying as Megan's
Yeah.
speaking, and what she's been saying just reminds me, or makes me feel like when women truly, truly own their self worth first, beyond, and that's beyond titles, it's got to be beyond the titles, accolades, and social labels and comparisons, right? When we do that, I think that women can show up differently. And I think by extension that that's where true collaboration can then begin to happen, because then you lose all desire to even be competitive because
Yeah.
everyone
Myuri,
owns
you
their
are
own space.
100% right.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
That's actually
Oh,
Clara,
wow.
but you're right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
Clara. Yes,
Because when we know our value, then we're not threatened by someone else's shine. We're inspired by it.
Yep.
You know?
yes,
Amazing. Good
Excellent
stuff.
yes.
Good
point.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
deep,
I
Clara.
love that.
Thank
And
you. That
it's
really
a
resonates.
big part of that is knowing that we are valuable for who we be,
Mm.
not what we do.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and that is a difficult conversation to figure out. Who am I without my
Hmm.
business? Who am I without
Hmm.
my stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who am I without all of the letters after my name? Who am I without the college degrees? Who am I without the years of experience? Who am I with all of these things that are exterior to us?
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. Bridging that gap into the I am worthy is the biggest journey that we get to go on. And that also leads to self-worth and net worth.
Megan,
I
I
love
have
that.
something to ask you, if I may.
Go.
Mm,
Thank you, Frankie. Megan, self worth is both, right? It is the good and the bad that each of us
mm.
have. Does our knowledge of what's not good in us come in the way of all the rest that we aspire to be? Being happy for others. Um, does that, because we know what is not right in us, and we embrace that along with the good? Does that come in? Does that get in our own way of wanting to be collaborative and all of that?
You mean, do our shadows get in the way of us
Yeah,
wanting to be
you
collaborative?
know that self-talk, sometimes we want to be positive and affirming and all of that. And you have that shadowy talk in the back of your mind, sometimes the not so good stuff in you. You know what I mean? Does that get in the
Yes,
way?
of
Yeah.
course it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's part of the journey as well to self-worth and through self-love is to become aware of the shadow and allow it to be. And there's
Mm,
so many different doorways there as well. Parts work is one of my favorite ways of recognizing these beautiful and protective parts of ourselves that we created at a young age because
mhm.
we were defenseless and we didn't have anything else. Whatever it is for you, yes, it can definitely, if you find yourself having these thoughts or these blocks, if you will, to
Yeah.
being able to collaborate genuinely, I would
Hmm.
say it's about looking back within and saying, what old outdated beliefs do I have that are
Right.
holding me in this ego, holding my ego in this locked perspective? And if I got freedom from those beliefs, what would it look like? and what would those new empowering beliefs look like, and how could those really support me and help me as I grow and elevate? So it's part of that self-growth journey as well, into realizing that those things that maybe protected us or kept us safe in our minds are not serving us any longer. And it's time to open up ourselves and to, kind of resonate with a new belief.
Thank you, Megan. Really appreciate that.
Megan,
Thank
do
you.
you have a
Mhm.
character that has something to say about this?
Well, you guys, let me just tell you that Sylvia here, Maldonado, thank you. I have had, 35 years as a therapist. And I have had to help so many women really come out of their shells and come to this place of understanding that it doesn't do us any good to just be, to just be what our parents wanted us to be, or to be what society wanted us to be. It's no longer time or valuable to be behaving anymore, ladies. It's time for us to, pull up our britches and be our unique selves. That's what I'm going to say to y'all right now, okay?
Thank you so much. That was
Voila. Thank
brilliant.
you.
Love it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I think we're going to a commercial break, Alex.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for a unique gift for baby showers, bedtime songs, fun time songs, and songs that teach lessons? Family road trip songs the whole family will enjoy. Songs that will trigger young imaginations, nurture and educate your children, but adults will enjoy too? Then choose a Children's Song a Day book. This extraordinary book experience contains 1,000 songs in 5 volumes that will delight children age 4 through 12, along with eye-popping illustrations and lyrics. Each song can be downloaded via a QR code on each page in 2 versions, one with full song, the other for a karaoke experience. Lyrics, melody, and singing are the creation and talent by Dr. Swapna Abraham, who embarked on a 1,000-day journey setting 4 world records in singing songwriting by the Golden Book of World Records. Each song is crafted for children to inspire dreams and explore life's wonders. They're available now on any Amazon near you, so get yours now and start singing.
It makes me want to frown down the hills, down the ocean.
Okay, we're back. And if you're just joining us, wherever you're listening from around the world, this is still the G Spot. And yes, you're listening to us live on G Women Radio. And just in case, you've heard there any of the, anything that stuck out for you or stood out for you or resonated for you with our very special guest, don't forget you can leave those comments in the chat room. And of course, we'll get your comments all here on the show. So it's time for our G Spotlight segment. Over to you, Swapna.
Thank you, Alex. I'm going to make this very quick, Megan. What will be your most memorable performance? I noted that you called it performance. What would be your most memorable performance to date?
Well, ladies, this is Nellie Eleanor Smith. I'm known as Networking Nellie. And what I would tell you is that I have taught Megan so much of what she teaches in the world about collaboration and the fact that we all need power partners. Now, power partners are these strategic women that we should collaborate with and mastermind with and open doors for. And so, my most memorable performance as myself was probably at one of our Dames events here in Denver. It's our Funference, and that is our annual conference. And Megan invited me to come and speak and teach about collaborations, especially through Power Partners and through Power Pods. And I just remember that it was one of the most joyful days of my life.
Well, thank you very much for that. I
Wow.
really appreciate it.
That was great.
That was a
That's
surprise, by the way.
amazing.
Thank you. Indeed. Fun friends for conference. Over to you, Clara, for the next.
Yes. I'm just, that's really impressive. Honestly, Megan, that's really, really impressive. Well done. I love it. I love it. It just makes people remember the stuff that the character is talking about.
Hmm.
Um, do you know what? I'm going to just quickly remind our listeners. that we welcome listener participation, you all. So if you're tuned in live, we'd love to see you join or have you join in on the conversation. Two ways you can do that: drop your questions into the chat box, on the page where you're listening, or you can, send us, or you can actually go to chat.gwomanradio.com. You can drop your comments there as well. But the chat box is easily accessible from the website at gwomanradio.com. We'd love to hear from you. Drop your comments. And yeah, I will hand over to Mayuri now.
Thank you, Clara. So, Megan, you blend sharp business strategy with sketch comedy, which is absolutely unique and just wonderful. And listening to you embody these characters already makes it so fun. I just want to know, how did humor really become one of your secret weapons in helping powerhouse women lead with impact and authenticity? How did you line the two up?
Yes. So I would say that it came from just embracing this idea that I had that I could bring performance into business and that it would create something different. And I have this beautiful incubator of our Dames events to get to practice that. And so when I had that belief that fun needed to be in business in order for people to really grasp onto these concepts, I doubted myself at first. Like, there's nobody that's going to want this. There's nobody that's going to understand it. And what that required of me was to say, you know what? I will attract the right people by being myself and by truly living in my unique gifts. I may repel some of the wrong people, and that is okay. Because what's most important for me as a woman, as a business owner, is to be my authentic self and to be it to the fullest possible. I've always been a loud Enneagram 7 ENFP woman who knows what I want. And when I do, I will make it happen. And I really tend to teach other women how to do that too, whether they're an introvert and a shy person who, wants to bring more art and creativity into their business, or whether they're someone who has these, authentic talents in other ways. It's really truly about helping those women find that aligned space and turn up the volume on the things that light them up most, because that's what's going to give them longevity in business, and that's what's going to give them access to that strategy we talked about earlier. And I do see creativity and strategy being yin and yang with one another. They both require masculinity and femininity and masculinity, and they both can just coexist so beautifully together when given attention, equal attention to both sides.
Thank you so much for that. You know, what's really resonating with me is how you keep emphasizing authenticity. And from an authentic place, that's where you can blend the strategy and the creativity, where you can learn what your purpose is, where you can follow your intuition, even if it leads you into some weird and wonderful places, because you trust yourself so much, you know yourself so much, you know who you are, that it's not even a thing. You don't even blink. So I love that. Thank you so much. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Mayuri, and thank you, Megan, for that. That was definitely very. I chuckled just listening to the character. We're gonna take a quick musical break before we wrap this up. I know we have only 6 minutes to wrap, but this is our season finale, and so I'm going to end the show with something that we started the season with, and we'll be back.
What do you see when you look at me? What is the first thing that you think? What's on your mind when you talk to me? Is it my size, my class, my clothes? What do you think you know about the girl you met a moment ago? So much you don't know. You've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. You've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. Hold my hand if someone's age, their race, their weight, oh. And maybe it's time that you realize you can't see the forest for the trees when you've got a veil on your eyes. And that's why you've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family.
Okay, that's Family by Danielle Taylor, whom we love here on the show. And yes, we started the season with that. We're one big family, women all over the world, wherever we are, no matter the color of your skin, no matter what you do, it's one big family out there. So just before we wrap up the show, I know we have only 4 minutes left and we're going to make this quick. Mic drop moment, sisters. Let's start with you, Frankie. What was your mic drop moment from our conversation with Meghann?
I love her mullet approach. Humor in the front, business in the back.
Ooh, amazing. Swapna?
I love when Megan said that you attract the right people to yourself by being yourself and authentically, and you repel the wrong people. I'm going to just leave this room with that. Thank you, Megan, for that.
Wow, amazing. Clara?
For me, it was when she talked about owning your self worth before chasing after your net worth. It
Ooh,
just tells me you rise higher, faster, and stronger when work together, build together.
amazing. Mayuri?
I think it was that you are enough, stripped of everything, of your job, of your success. Who are you? And that truly resonates. Who you are resonates with you. It's your authentic self, and that means that you can truly collaborate, as there's no competition.
Mm.
Amazing. That resonated with me too. I hope you can tell Megan that you definitely left an imprint here on us. But just before we wrap this up, any final words?
Oh, yes, ladies. I just wanted to say, Margie here, that it has just been so nice to talk with you all. And I just really want to say to anyone listening, if you feel at all like you're self-sacrificing, or maybe you're torn in so many different directions, or maybe you feel like this weird bifurcated person running around with, like, your professional side over here and your personal side over here, I just really encourage you to zip yourself back together and find a way for yourself to be in that business model and that way of operating that truly allows you to feel like you're this whole being, that you're walking around with a plan and a strategy that aligns with you, and that you tap into that love and that self-worth all the time, ladies. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Margie.
Gosh.
Thank you for that. Well, thank you also to our listeners. Thank you for listening to our show. Don't forget to follow us online at G Women Media and tag us in your thoughts with hashtag GSpot Radio. And if there's anything that you enjoyed or listened or picked from our conversation with our guest, don't forget to share that as well. You can also catch the replay wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay genius, stay.
Stay game
Game
changing.
changing.
That's right, ladies.
You're tuned into G Woman Radio for the global woman, gifted, genius, game changer.